Hello, hello. We're live.
Hi. Hello.
We're back at it again, even though I forgot to do a schedule this week.
It's all good. Sometimes the best things are unplanned.
Oh, this is planned. We do this every Tuesday now.
No, this is. I was not expecting it.
You weren't expecting it.
Yeah, the moment the stream ends, the moment the Stellar broadcast ends, I forget it ever happened. I was just like,
It's like, huh? Tuesday what?
this is a dream I can never remember.
Yeah, we're back on our bullshit yet again.
Hell, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a way to. I was gonna say it's a way to decompress the week, but it's on a Tuesday. This is
It's
a
a
way
way
to
to get through
decompress
the
Monday.
yeah. It's a way to like on your way to decompression to the weekend. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have been. First of all, how have you been, Robin?
I have been alright. Have you heard about the new basketball game going on?
The new basketball game.
Yeah, you
Who's
know
playing?
the shrimps are really tearing up the sharks.
Oh shit! I used to be a Sharks fan, but I think the Shrimps, they've got like the underdog thing going. You know?
The shrimps really can't cook.
Yeah. That's I never knew that you were a basketball fan, but you learn something new every day.
I'm not. I joined a basketball team in school and then quit right after my first day of practice.
The thing that I remember most about basketball is how sometimes when you would try to catch the ball, you would accidentally like hit your finger into the ball and like jam it. I remember doing that a lot of times. That happened to me a lot.
Mm.
And it was kind of this thing where like I liked playing. I used to be like when I was little, I used to be like athletic kid, running around in PE. And then I got into video games. Yeah, no, I used to play a lot of like little yeah. Used to play a lot of little like more athletic games, but basketball was always one of those things where there was just something that didn't connect for me. My brother was into it. But for me personally, I was like, somehow this ball always hurts me. It has it out for me. I don't know why.
You're just remembering every time at recess, I always get hit by a ball once a week or something. Like I was just a magnet. Even the nurse was like, "What the fuck?"
There's that, and then I have another vivid memory about like a playground game is playing kickball and like being completely absorbed. I'm like, I'm gonna kick this ball so hard and so far, and I ran up and I was ready. I was like, I could see it in my head, and I completely like Charlie Browned it. Like I kicked over the ball and like fell on my ass.
Oh gosh.
And the weird thing about it is like I don't think anybody really saw it or knew what, because like if I saw myself doing that, I probably would have laughed. But I don't know. It's this weird memory. Maybe I blocked that part out. Maybe it was so, you know, I was so embarrassed that my brain was like, don't need this. But yeah, no, that's the extent of my sports history.
For
I
me,
didn't really play.
For me, for the whole basketball thing, I think because we're in middle school, mind you, and this grown man yelling at all these little girls like to play basketball. And I kind of joined in the middle of it. I wasn't really there for start or anything like that, so they just kind of let me join. And because I couldn't shoot a basket, he kind of yelled at me, and instead of like toughening up, if anything, I just kind of went like, I'm not tolerating this bullshit. So then I just never went back. I didn't cry or anything like that. I'm like, damn, that's just rude as hell, man. Like, I'm not taking this shit. Like, the fuck? Why are you like yelling at a bunch of little girls in middle school?
Yeah. I mean, especially because it's like there's a technique to shooting a basket. It's not something that you just do. You have to, you know.
He just kind of told us to do
skill.
it, from what I remember, and he didn't really show us. Like, what? Although I did join the soccer team, but I think it's because they have to let people join the soccer team on their first year. You know, when you're young, you know, how else are you gonna learn? You know.
Yeah.
And I know this because everyone else, as I was growing older, was always bitching about the younger kids joining the soccer team and how terrible they are. And I'm like, this is just the same thing repeating over and over, because that's what people said about us, and I didn't want to partake in that either.
Yeah.
Yep.
The cycle.
And then I kind of also dragged my friend into playing for our high school soccer team, but because it also had some pre-requirements of like running this distance, etc., etc. I didn't do that, so I didn't join, and I kind of got her to join it, and she didn't even want to do it, but she ended up liking it and stayed.
Oh, worked out.
It worked out. It's mostly because like the competitive side of like sports and soccer is just not for me, man. Like, I don't like it, but I still like playing it.
It does require a certain amount of like innate competitiveness, you know. That also is one of the reasons why I couldn't really like. I mean, even games. Like, my brother was always into like competitive games. Like, he used to play like Counter-Strike. You know, he'd have LAN parties, play 1.6, and you know, him and his friends are like, we're gonna make a clan, we're gonna be pro. And he would get really into it.
My brothers were similar in terms of like multiplayer, like shooter games, like Call of Duty, Halo, Borderlands.
Yeah.
You name it. Even things going over to like a Smash Bros. Brawl, of how my cousin coined the quote of "There is no mercy in this dojo."
I remember, I have a vivid memory of playing Smash Bros. With my brother and like his friends, and I forgot which one it was. It was probably Melee. But I remember like they were trying to like teach me how to wave dash. They're like, you're gonna need this, and I'm like, I just want to be Kirby. Can I be Kirby?
No, I was the same way, except they never taught me anything. They just beat the shit out of me multiple times until
Oh,
something stuck. Although I wasn't really like too broken up about it. I was like, okay, no mercy in this dojo. This
yeah,
is
yeah.
how
I mean,
I learn.
that's how it usually was with my brother, with like the more technical like fighting games, you know, like because my brother was always into things like Street Fighter and he did have like one King of Fighters game, but you know those types of fighting games, and I was always I was very bad at them. So
I just remember. Did your brothers
huh.
play Soul Calibur, or did you play Soul Calibur?
I played, yeah, we both played Soul Calibur for a bit, yeah.
Okay, because I just had like the memory of my brother and my brothers and their friends, as well as my cousin, with the custom, the custom creation for their like fighters.
This Soul Calibur actually has a very interesting story in relation to my life. Soul Calibur is the reason I found my cat.
What? What?
So let me remember exactly which one it was. I think it was Soul Calibur 4, the one with the crazy character customization. Like, it was on like, hold on, the first one with crazy character customization. Was it 4? It was 4. Yeah, it was Soul Calibur 4. It just came out, and I was like watching like videos of it, and you know, I wasn't big into fighting games, but there was like kind of a creative aspect to it, and so I was like, okay, maybe I could play this, and my brother would be more into it, but I'll check it out. And you know, the typical kind of kid thing where you're like, you know, trying to convince your parents like, hey, can I get, I'll trade in 5 tiny games for $2 if you buy me the $60 game. Mom and dad, it totally makes sense. And it, you know, it was kind of this thing where my dad was like, all right, well, you know, you've been helping out, you've been cleaning, doing stuff. Okay. And we're getting ready to go, and that's when we hear something in the wall. You know, just a faint kind of noise. I don't think at the time we knew what it was, because I remember my dad was like, well, it could be a possum. Or it could be like a cat. But whatever it is, we probably should just get it out of there. Because, you know, otherwise it's just gonna die in the wall, and that's no good. So yeah, it was this whole thing. You know, he got one of those circular like drywall like cut, like you put it on the end of a drill. You know, and he you know, I mean, he was worried about doing that because obviously, you know, like you could accidentally hit the thing with it, and he was like, shit. But he almost perfectly made a hole, like a little window directly, and sure enough, inside the wall was this tiny baby black cat. Tiny, very tiny. What, after the fact, we kind of thought what happened is that his mom had her litter in the attic, and while carrying them around, she just kind of dropped one.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's what we think happened, because he was really, really young. Like, he had damn near just been born young. So we got him out of there, you know. None of us had ever owned, my dad had never really owned a cat. So we didn't really know what to do exactly. I mean, other than the typical thing where with like strays, you know, you bring them to the vet, you know, make sure they get all the shots that they're supposed to get, and you know, all this shit. You know, other than that, just like the idea of caring for a cat. I think we did we tried to like coax, because when he was in the wall, we were like trying to coax him out with like milk.
Milk.
Yeah, which isn't like a thing, right? Like cats.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't really care about that.
I think
yeah, you have some like
when they grow older, but like when they're younger, it's okay, kind of.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, you know, he was very he's very obviously little frightened cat, very cagey. Every time you'd get close to him, you know, he'd spit at you. You know, the but you know, we grabbed him up, wrapped him up, got him some actual food that he could eat. You know, yeah, the rest is history. And I still got Soul Calibur 4.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, this is, you know, better than the birthday. I got a cat and a game.
That sounds amazing. You know, my favorite animal used to be cats. I say used to be because when I was a little kid,
until you met me.
Yeah, I fucking hate them now. No. Basically, when I was a little kid, I absolutely loved them for whatever reason. I don't know what drew me so into cats, but I was obsessed with them. But I found out the sad truth that I was allergic to them.
Aww.
That broke my little kid heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm okay with them in terms of allergies and how I feel about them. Now raccoons, though, they're like little pillow cats. Like ones you get from the garbage, and then you just say it's mine. Who's gonna stop you? The state?
Yeah, no.
Not if they don't know about it.
Free pet.
Free pet. It looks like a little, like mischief ruffian, you know, little robber. Yeah. And like a pillow. It's like a pillow pet, man. But yeah, I'm not really allergic to cats as I used to before. Like I still get kind of like sniffly a little bit, but I think from what I remember researching, you kind of get like allergic to like the dandruff of like animals, which is why you get an allergic reaction and such, and just something your body kind of has to like eventually build an immunity to it, kind of, which is the reason why some people eventually overcome their, you know, allergies, like things with like allergy medication and such.
Yeah.
I don't have any cats living with me. I have 2 little dogs though. Also, can we briefly talk about like the pet structures of the fact that one's very calm and the other one's a crackhead? If you have ever owned like multiple pets, why is that?
I don't know. Yeah, they do kind of like fit into those archetypes.
Yes, because the first one is very chill, cool as a cucumber, like a literal potato. If you like move her, she doesn't really react or do anything. And the other one is batshit crazy. If anything, it's funny how that one acts more like a cat. Because I remember when she was a puppy, she used to cough up hairballs. And I was very confused.
Yeah, my cat had like a crackhead phase. He would like. There was a while where he would beg for French fries. He would beg for them. Yeah, he loved them. He wanted those things. He had never even tasted them before, but he's like, no, this is the shit. I can smell it. This is what I want. And then we'd give him a French fry, and then he'd like pick it up in his mouth, and then growl while he ate it, because he was like, "This is mine. You can't have it."
That's how it is with our crack kid dog. Of like taking things from the other dog, and we're like, bitch, you don't even want it. And she's like, but that's mine. That's all that matters to me, that it's mine. That's why we have to separate them when they eat food. Because if not, the other one will bully her for food. Oh. She won't even eat it. She just bullies.
Damn.
Oh my gosh. I wonder why that is for like animals. Well, I guess that kind of structure can also happen in like just normal households, you know.
Yeah.
Of like you know, the archetype or stereotypes of like the older sibling, younger sibling, middle sibling doesn't exist apparently. Although I feel like I don't really fit the younger stereotype because I'm the youngest in my family. And people are like, you don't act like it. I'm like, oh.
What is the stereotype?
Well, because the stereotype is effectively parents kind of pay more attention to the younger child. Younger child is kind of a little bit more high maintenance and kind of do a lot more stuff of what they want and get away with it, kind of. Because they mostly receive slaps on the wrist or something like that. While the older one was kind of like held to a lot more standards from the parents as the parents grow more relaxed over time.
Yeah.
And such. So like older one's kind of younger, or not younger, sorry. Older one's kind of more chill and the younger one's kind of a little bit more outgoing and out there. At least that's the stereotype, which, you know, obviously isn't true. Because neither me and my brother leave our homes.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, my brother's a lot more chill nowadays. But he was always very unchill. I think probably because he also has social anxiety to some degree. But he would get very upset. He'd get very angry. You know? Whereas me, I'm just kind of like, I'm just chilling. You know? I'm just relaxing. But yeah, I think there are definitely instances that I can think of where it's like, okay, well maybe that is like a younger sibling moment. But yeah, it's not across the board. But yeah.
I wonder if there's anything like on the internet of like younger versus older sibling stereotypes, so I can more accurately define it. This
Hmm.
is third sim.
Firstborns are thought to be responsible, controlling, and leaders. The middle child is described as feeling left out, the peacemaker, and rebellious, while the lastborn is an attention seeker, self-centered, and charming. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's like sweeping generalizations.
yeah. I know for me, like, my parents kind of were a little bit more lax with me, but at the same time, it wasn't really by a substantial amount compared to the rest of my siblings.
Yeah.
So I know I had that going, and because my brother was also mature and old enough to basically kind of raise me, also, he kind of became my third parent. So I think that also helped eliminate the, youngest sibling being arrogant.
Hmm.
Because he basically just kind of taught me not to be like that. Made sure that I didn't fall into any pit holes growing up.
Yeah.
I like how I found something a little funny of the
Hmm.
stereotypes of siblings. The only child, independent, really good at paddleball, kinship with forest creatures. The oldest sibling, mature, gets to sit up front, gets control of AC, gets to pick radio station, gets to play with the glove box door.
Hmm.
The youngest sibling, the favorite, cell phone at age 6, goes first in Candyland. Few extra seconds before ordering at restaurants. No other types of siblings are known to exist.
Damn.
What do you think about sibling themes in media?
Um, I I like I do like them because I mean it is something that like is a uh unique experience. You know, if you have siblings, like there is kind of an inherent uh you can kind of tell like when you watch things uh when they're done kind of right, you know. uh and it's always fun because it's like, you know, I haven't really I've definitely seen like, because there are some movies where it's like you know, just you know, we've talked about generational trauma. We've talked about you know, stuff like that that can kind of almost like these stereotypes can kind of go into detail on like, you know, the struggles that an older sibling faces versus the struggles that a younger sibling might face and all of that. Because I do think generally, um, there are a lot of instances where the older sibling kind of becomes the template.
Mm.
You know, it's kind of like this thing where I know I've learned a lot as a younger sibling watching my brother try things and do things, and then being like, either like, okay, I won't do that, or you know, maybe I should do that. You know,
Mm.
just like quietly younger sibling watching in the corner as older sibling like fucks up. You know, just like, huh,
Yeah. Yeah. That's me with everyone though. Cause like I remember I was
I
like
mean, yeah.
in a contest with like some, well, not contest, it was like a way to show off our skills and stuff. And because of how the coordinators were handling it, and they were also family, they were kind of grilling their own children in front of everyone else. So I was last to go, so I made sure to do everything what other people, do everything what other people did not do. You know, try to correct my own mistakes before I make them through seeing others make those same mistakes.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Wow, congrats, Rob, you did it." And I'm like,
Yeah. I think that's something that I didn't really see on those, like, because I think that is, as like a younger sibling, I was very much like observing a lot, you know,
Yeah.
learning. But yeah, I think there are a lot of different types of themes and experiences you can kind of draw upon when it comes to sibling relationships, just depending. You know, I mean, like, for me, because there are some people that like they just hate their siblings, you know, like they don't like them. And like when I was like a little baby kid and my brother was like teasing me, I didn't like him. You know, when I was like little teeny tiny, like, why he took my toy. But like we kind of became pretty chill and cool with each other really quickly. You know. So I've never had that experience. We've always had like a really good relationship. So yeah, it's I think that sucks. Like if that is your experience watching the Stellar broadcast, I'm sorry. It always sucks when there's kind of weirdness with siblings and things like that. I can't even imagine. So yeah, heart goes out to you. Although I mean, I guess like if you just absolutely hate them, then you probably just like found your spot and like moved away. You know, like yeah, I'm gonna be over here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've also had like a good connection and relationship with my brother because again he kind of raised me a little bit, not really away from my parents, but just like helped raise me to help me avoid some pitfalls of like how life is and how it goes. So
yeah.
like our relationship has been like very, very rarely like strained.
Yeah.
You know, stretched a little bit. It's like, oh god. And not only that, he likes to play up like the annoying older brother stereotype a lot. As in, he always comes to poke at me to like just mess with me or put me in like a stressful situation of like standing in the doorway and not letting me go past. Like that kind of simple, annoying older brother shit. Because I'm tiny and he's a lot bigger than me. So I can't really get past him, so I basically have to like fight him to get across. Thing is, I'm
Yeah.
not that strong either, so I end up kind of sometimes hilariously accidentally hurt myself in the process. And he's like, "Are you okay? I heard your fist crack." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." But otherwise, like we like to sit down and work together like a lot when it comes to
Hmm.
things, and I feel like not a whole lot of other siblings have the opportunity to do so. If anything,
Yeah.
it's kind of like Mabel and Dipper from Gravity Falls, a little bit,
Yeah.
with how they aren't 100%, they don't fully get along, but they still get along decently well to the point that they can work together and they
Yeah.
still care for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was just wondering, like, how you think about that in terms of depicted in media and such.
I mean, I think that there's been a lot of generally I think it's well done, you know. I mean, like I think there was a while there where because it was more dramatic to have like a bad relationship with your siblings, uh it was kind of more prevalent that like a character would just kind of like have a bad relationship with their family or their siblings or whatever. But I think um, there's been a lot of different. I mean, you kind of mentioned like Gravity Falls and just a lot of things in media that kind of depicts a more positive kind of relationship. So that kind of that experience has, I feel like, been represented well. Um, but yeah,
Mm.
I think it's something that is nice, and I feel like it's been done well. I think that yeah, I don't know. That's that's pretty much that pretty much sums up how I feel about it actually. Uh,
Mm. For me, it can kind of
uh,
be like a hit or miss at times.
yeah, it really
Like
just depends on how the characters are written. Um,
mm,
like I feel like the dynamic can it definitely can sometimes just be like I don't really believe these people are siblings.
yeah.
um, but yeah,
Mm. Because like one recent example that crosses my mind is, funnily enough, Dungeon Meshi.
hmm.
Because I didn't know this for like the longest time until I actually sat down and watched it, actually today, at the time of this recording, um, of how they kind of portrayed the siblings.
Hmm.
I will say the siblings aren't there with each other constantly or all the time. And if
Yeah,
anything, it's kind of like a decent relationship with each other. The fact that, yeah, they're very similar. They love talking with each other and like sharing experiences and stuff like that. But eh,
hmm.
it's almost like they're too nice to each other.
Right, right,
And I'm like, I need a little bit of that like sibling flair of like roasting each other.
right. Yeah. Well, yeah, cause you know, like if you have a sibling, you know, you kind of understand each other, so
Yeah.
like you can kind of roast each other because you have a general idea of like what would be considered too far or not too far, and you know, because you've lived with the person and you understand them on that level. Um,
Yeah. Which I just feel like it doesn't because in most media, I feel like it's just like one or the other, where they just completely hate each other and constantly roasting each other, or they're super duper nice to the point that they're like, uh, is this like a copy and pasted person, or
Yeah, yeah.
and just one of them is just flip gender, or like, or is it just them basically being like strangers to each other and them calling each other siblings?
You know what was good? I feel
Hmm.
like there's a cartoon called Mission Hill. And the central characters are brothers. And that show, I felt like the sibling relationship felt very real in a way that like they do kind of annoy each other from time to time, you know? They do kind of get on each other's nerves, but the way that they're written, you can tell that they kind of have this like connection, you know? Like it's not so, like they don't hate each other. And I felt like it was nice in that show. It's a funny show. It's a comedy. But yeah. That's one of those I mean, it's like a cult classic. It wasn't really that popular when it came out because for a bunch of different reasons. One of them was they had like continuity, which for like a sitcom was kind of a death sentence. And it was like somewhere between a sitcom, you know. But it was good.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing this show at all.
Yeah, it used to play on Adult Swim. It's a very funny cartoon. Tom Kenny. I'll always remember this. Because me and my brother laughed like a ridiculous amount of times just rewinding and playing, but like there was this part where the younger brother, he's like in the city by himself and he's like, it's not so bad. And then he finds this dude and this guy in a hat and he's like in a trench coat and he's played by Tom Kenny and he's like, yeah, the city's not so bad, you know, just talking about it. And then he like leans in and he goes, penis, penis, penis. And just hearing SpongeBob do that was enough for me to like lose my shit.
Oh yeah, because I'm trying to imagine Tom Kenny's voice.
Yeah.
I need to look up this clip. I need to. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I see the character that he plays. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have to look. Why did someone make him into
What?
like a Papa's like pizza character?
What?
Yeah, it's on DeviantArt. Made by Smurfy Smurf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on DeviantArt. They made a recreation of Wally.
Wally.
Wally. Oh my gosh. I'm done.
There's also an excellent clip in this show. I'll share it later, but it's very existential. It was the older brother is like an artist,
Mm.
and you know he's very much like an artist's artist. You know, just like being like not wanting to sell out and not wanting to be, you know. Um, and his like buddy offers him at like a position at his like corporate job thing, and he's like, nah, I don't need that, you know, I can just do my own thing. And then he gets into the elevator and he's like, there's another dude that kind of looks like scraggly, but it turns out like the dude in the elevator, like he's having a conversation with someone else, and he's like some super lucrative tech dude, and he's only like 20. And then just as he's like going up the elevator, it's like the years of his life are counting up, and he's like thinking about a bunch of people just being like successful at like all these different ages. And then eventually he like sees himself in like the basement like shoveling coal at like 30, you know.
Mm. My gosh, that reminds me of regular show where they had a segment of like you know how the regular show characters always partake in like crazy hijinks, right?
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to game shows, right?
Yeah.
You know some of the game show episodes. Okay, so imagine Pops, the guy with the big head mustache. He's like, oh, I've been invited by some people through the mail to go onto this TV show or like game show, and the rest of the people are like, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't go. We've had bad experiences. He's like, oh, but that's just you guys. This will be different with me. He goes, tries to look for the place of where they're trying to hold this game show. And he accidentally caught the attention to some of the producers of some other show that he accidentally intruded on. And because he just gave like some random simple suggestions, they're like, dude, you're in. And they kept listening to him of like all these like minor suggestions of like all the shit that he's like helping with the other shows, and he's like, oh, but can I please go to like this one show that I'm actually here for? Can I please go? And it got to the point where he started accidentally climbing the corporate ladder of the entertainment business until he was literally the CEO of some company. And he's just sitting there looking old and crusty with like a beard and all that. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god. And he's like, dude, it's only been a day. He never got to go shit. It was absolutely nuts. He did eventually escape, but it's the fact that he just turned old and crusty like a raisin because people would not stop bothering him about like, what about this? What about this? What about Oh my gosh. I love regular show so much. Honestly,
Yeah.
the character
Yeah.
dynamics of that show is also peak. Because it's just
Yeah.
a bunch of bros just hanging out, just like screaming at the top of their lungs. I love the
Yeah.
cast so much.
Mordecai and Rigby kind of felt like brothers to me.
Yeah, they kind of were. Because
Yeah.
they were that close with each other to
Yeah.
like call each other brothers to get themselves out of like hijinks and troubles and stuff like that. Even though I think Mordecai is an only child, while Rigby is actually an older brother.
Yeah.
Even though he acts like kind of like the younger brother. And
There
probably
you go.
it's because of
It's found
Mordecai.
siblings.
Found siblings. Yep. And I love that show, but I don't like what Mordecai went through because, like, that was there were so many times, so many secondhand embarrassment I
Oh,
just
yeah.
got from watching his arc of like him pulling a Mordecai, like
Yeah.
of him fumbling with like the people that are important in his life. Absolutely nuts. Well, Rigby is like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna just go to high school so I can, actually become quote unquote smart for my girlfriend as well as for myself because I never graduated high school.
Right.
And I just love that for we love people who
Yeah.
self improve.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, you know? It's like, I don't know, you know, like, I mean, like with anything, uh, you have to kind of do it with a mindfulness. You know, you can't just, because I feel like the idea of self-improvement can wrap around to the state where you're like trying to be the perfect version of yourself, you know?
Mm.
And I don't think perfection as like it really depends on what you view perfection as, but like I think traditionally, you know, just this idea that like you can be without fault or downsides, that you can just reach this state where you are just a 100% positive force to the universe and everyone around you at all times. It's like, all right, you know, take a step back. You know, it's like, it. I
Yeah.
think that yeah, I think that with self improvement, there's always kind of this thing of like, okay, well, I can like get better at doing this thing, or I can like do certain things less, or whatever, you know, just whatever adjustments that you would feel need to be made. But absolutes when it comes to that kind of stuff, I don't know. But still figuring it out.
Mm.
Because a lot of it, I mean, a lot of it's like habitual.
Mm.
The idea of improving isn't really something that you do and then you're done. You're improved. It's like adding a new habit
Yeah.
to your life, or replacing a habit, a way of thinking with another way of thinking. And it's
Yeah.
extremely hard to do. It's possible,
Mm.
but it also doesn't end.
That is true. Which is what I kind of like about it, and I also don't like about it, kind of. Because, like,
Yeah,
I'm terrible with consistency, and I get tired
yeah,
really easily when it comes to things.
yeah.
So I feel like I've just been kind of sitting down, taking a break from the whole self improvement binge I was on before.
Hmm.
And I think that's mostly because I worked myself to the bone last
Yeah,
time.
yeah. That
So,
that also that also is difficult
yeah.
to manage, um, like finding your limits with that stuff, and because there's a whole lot of emotions around what you should as a person be doing, and what should be expected of you and what you expect of yourself, and you know, like all of this stuff kind of swirls around, and a lot of the times for me it kind of, I can kind of not so much anymore. I used to be really, really bad with it.
Mm.
With just kind of like pushing myself into something and then like burning myself out. Um, but I think with, I mean, the whole like concept behind something like cognitive behavioral therapy um, is that it's like, all right, we're gonna try and like facilitate different patterns of thought. You know, it's like your current patterns of thought are leading you down this spiral, so we're gonna just try and associate different things with that, you know. And it's something that like you have to do yourself. You know, it's like one of those things that is very much depending on how you view I mean any kind of treatment, even if you're taking medication, like the effectiveness of it is dependent on how you feel about it, you know. Like a lot of this stuff, there's no like net goods or net bads, because of things that you've kind of the life that you lived is unique, so naturally different things are going to work and different things are gonna not work. But it's like both shitty and good. You know, because it's what makes us unique, but also at the same time it's like I wish somebody could have written a book on like how to live my life, you know.
If only were that easy.
Yeah, right. But yeah, with themes, I think that self-improvement is something that is a little complicated, and I think more often than not in fiction, they kind of don't really explore how complicated it can be, because the idea of self-improvement, like in a story, is like, okay, you are in a place where you're not satisfied, you're gonna go on like a wacky adventure, and then you're gonna find what makes you satisfied, and then you're gonna be good. And it's like, in some regards, I guess that is what you would do, but in like fiction, it's like super, you know, people kind of coming out of the woodwork. Your grand adventure changes your life, and it's good. It's all good. Don't have to worry about it now. And you know, I mean, I think, I don't think every story needs to be like super, you know, like super granular when it comes to this stuff. I think it's fine to have, it's fine and even preferable in some situations where it's like, okay, well, like, I do just kind of want to see somebody overcome obstacles. You know? But there is an aspect of that does, if you are struggling, feel kind of lonely. You know, you watch you know, a movie of someone overcoming you know, their deep trauma, and then they're just like, click, don't have to worry about it anymore. I went on an adventure and I met wacky friends, and now it's not a problem. And you're just sitting there like, where's my adventure? Where's my wacky friends? Where are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is the GIF. The GIF. The gift and the curse. You know, I mean, media is kind of supposed to be an escape, but sometimes it can be healing as well.
Mm.
You know, and it can make you think about things. It can turn your brain and be like, oh, like I wonder what that would be like.
Yeah. If
Um,
anything, it makes me think about it a little bit. Like maybe it could just be more than something of an escape of like things
yeah.
and twisting it
No, it
into little,
absolutely.
yeah, twisting it into
Yeah.
something else, I guess. Because sure, there's the thought-provoking ways as well, but like I just want to see like how much people could go in terms of creativity and imagination, not necessarily for escape, but just because they simply can or want to,
Yeah.
you know? Like it
Yeah.
there doesn't always have to be an overarching message or such.
Yeah. Yeah, there doesn't have to be in like I think media can just be like a rumination. It doesn't necessarily need to say like this is why you should do this, like as like a grand message, you know.
Yeah, but those aren't the ones that really have a whole lot of eyes on, you know?
That's true, yeah.
Because like when I sit here and think about it, like I remember I entered like a writing program long ago when I was a kid. Um and they kind of focused more on the kids that wrote about their struggles
mm,
of like how much like they live, you know, we live in the US and the US immigration sucks, or like issues with home or something that they just feel really strongly against. Like the adults would try to cultivate those stories versus me who'd try to, I don't know, write about a pizza cat going on a goofball adventure for no reason.
yeah.
And it makes me think about that a lot because like at the end of the day those kids were actually the ones picked, because like at the end of the day the people got picked of like who would go to a speaking event and speak out whatever they wrote.
Yeah.
And nearly all the kids that spoke about their issues were kind of picked, and that's perfectly fine. There's a place for that, you know. But
Yeah.
like I feel like maybe the rest of the kids shouldn't be shunned for like their own stories and then having the same repeating story and over from like multiple people.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, what
only
about
one
the pizza
kid.
cats?
What about the pizza kids? There's only one kid who kind of wrote about his issues, but also did it in a comedical way.
Mm,
And I
yeah.
remember that because he was actually one of the few memorable pieces that was there. Because otherwise, it was everyone just writing thought-provoking stuff. But I'm like, I don't want thoughts. I want to turn it off. I just want something stupid and simple. It doesn't always have to mean something.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. I just dropped
Mm.
something. Yeah. No, and I think that is it's one of those, it's necessary. I mean, there are some times where it's just like, yeah, you kind of do want the escapism. You kind of do want to just like be somewhere else for a little bit, you know?
Mm. Well, I mean, like, it depends on where you are at your life and how you want to view it. Whether you want to view it as escapism or just dumb fun. You know? Because I
Well,
think
yeah,
they're
I mean,
so intertwined that it's kind of hard to separate them now.
yeah, I don't mean escapism as in like, you're like avoiding your life, just as like, hey, I just want to like not think about this for like 30 minutes. You know, like I just want to enjoy this like time and whatever for like however long the thing is. And that's totally, you know, I mean it's totally yeah, like it is preferable in a lot of cases. I mean there's a lot of instances in my own life where I would kind of rather like don't really feel like watching something like or reading something like heavy. I just kind of want to like play or watch or read something that is just kind of dumb fun that I don't have to like be thinking about the ramifications of, you know, weird societal things and also like how it ties into my own life and what I, you know, like there there are moments where it's like I just want to watch the Pizza Cat, you know, like and I think that's valid, and I think that's always valid. Like I don't think you grow out of that, and I don't think it's like I don't think it's inherently something that's immature. I just think that different types of fiction are needed for different things.
I think I'm mostly talking out of my own struggle of like what I want to see and what I want to create. You know, because like I'm sitting here with a lot of free time, and I'm sitting here going like I could create anything I want, and then I'm just paralyzed and don't do any of it.
Right.
And I'm sitting here trying to think about it, going like, do I want something thought provoking? Do I want this, that, or the other? I kind of don't want it to be this, but at the same time, I want it to be this. And it's just me struggling with the own definitions into my head of explaining what I want, because I still don't know what I want.
Yeah. Well, that is tough. Like trying to come up with a concept that you are able to like move forward with is like a whole, because yeah, you know, like naturally as somebody who's creating something, I mean there's a lot of different things that are important to you, and there's a lot of different things that you think would be good, you know, would be gratifying to create. I've struggled with that a lot myself, and I'm trying to think about the times where I've like overcome that. You know, it's not out of like epiphany or like finally finding something that like, you know, gratifies every stipulation that I've set out. Usually it's just like I will sit down and just be like, what do I want to do? Like what sounds cool? You know, what sounds good? What fills me with like not joy. God, what even would this be? What feels, what do I feel the strong, like what do I feel strongly about? Like why do I want to tell a story? Like what, to me, like those questions help narrow it down, but ultimately like at the end it is just straight up starting on it. And then through the process of going through it, because like there's a lot of doubts starting on anything. Like starting with a story, there's a lot of like, I don't, you know, because you have an idea for the direction that you're going in, but also like when you're writing it out, maybe it's not exactly the way you thought. Like maybe things aren't really fitting together exactly. Like you have an outline, but you know, maybe it just doesn't feel as cool as maybe it did in your head. But like on the other hand, what you had in your head before you started writing was incomplete. Like it didn't exist yet. So I think a lot of it is actively trying to block that part of your mind that's like, no, things aren't, this isn't looking right, this isn't working right, you know, this isn't, because you don't know, you haven't made it yet, you know what I mean? You know, I mean, if you have like a full draft, then you could really look at it and pick it apart and analyze it, but like before then, you know, you really just don't know. So I think that the other thing is like not every story has to be everything. Like all the things that matter to you and all the things that mean. I mean, you may find ways to like fit more of those things in as you go along. But I think that's where something like themes helps. Because a theme kind of brings you some focus. I've always had trouble focusing. I've always had trouble, like, I mean, I've had trouble like tying things together. So something like a theme makes it easy for me to be like, okay, this is what I care about with this story. Like, this is why it means a lot to me. And it doesn't have to be like a moral, but just a theme, like a reason for it being. Like what kind of thing are you trying to engage with here? And then, you know, if you have a theme, like that's like a simple thing that you can kind of keep in your head as you write and as you go along, and then just naturally you're gonna notice these things pop up. Or maybe if the theme resonates so much with you, you might even find out that you've already written things that fit right in with it, and you didn't even know it before you made the theme. Because that happens with me a lot. Like I've been doing the minimum wage hero quest thing, the comic, and I was writing like characters and I was writing, you know, stories and things, and I only really solidified the theme after I'd been writing for a while, just kind of looking at the main character and their kind of struggle and like, you know, talking and thinking about this idea of self-worth, and kind of how that looks to an individual and how it's like something that a lot of it is kind of the way that you see it, that you see worth as like a concept and what it means to be worth something, and you know, just like all these ideas and thinking about, like, once I kind of put that to words, I started to notice that like all of the characters had issues with self-worth, and I just didn't even realize that that I had done that, like in different ways, like in their own unique ways. They had like issues with self-worth, like not in the same way, but just in their understanding of what is worthy to them, or how they see worth in other people. But that's the interesting thing about kind of defining some kind of theme, is that you start to kind of notice all these things, and you start to kind of get other ideas for where you could explore those things. it's one of those cases where I think on the outside it seems kind of like a restriction, but like once you kind of start to think about it in the context of a story you're making, you start to actually open up a lot of avenues for yourself. Yeah, I guess that would be it. That would be like my advice if you are having trouble, is to like try and put to words what you would want to make, you know, because like if you have several ideas or a bunch of different partial ideas or whatever, you know, you can go through each one. You can go through, or you know, if there are a couple that maybe feel strong, you're ping-ponging between the two, and you know, it's whatever. Or if you just have ideas that are floating around, and you know that they're, you know, there's something that resonates, but maybe you don't know exactly why. Sitting down and kind of trying to define that stuff can really help with that. In my experience, that just feels a lot better to like, because it doesn't have to be like complicated. It doesn't have to be this huge like fucking 5 head, like, you know, fucking. It could be very simple. It could be like, I just want to see like, I want to make like a shonen, you know, like it could be that simple, and that works for some people. You know, some people are just very passionate about shonen. I've dabbled, I've enjoyed shonen in my time. But yeah, you know, I mean, like as long as it's something that is fulfilling to you, or it's an idea that just like you feel you'd want to build on, and there are no wrong answers, then, you know.
Just to quickly backpedal on the whole self-improvement thing, because this is something I did want to talk about, and something I've noticed with you. So there's this thing called like the 10-minute challenge, where you basically sit in front of a camera and you talk for 10 minutes straight. And I feel like you would probably beat that really quick. Because I'm just sitting here appalled that you can sit here and I don't mean this as an insult, but but how long you can yap, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could yap that long. Because I feel like, you know, and it kind of goes a little bit with writing too, and it's my own issue because of not really social anxiety. It's not even any anxiety to it. I've just grown naturally into being like a quiet person.
Right.
To the point that I'm like, oh, this person's talking. I won't talk, so you know, they sit down and talk about whatever they wish to, however they want, you know? And that kind of thing. And I feel like that's like a habit and something I need to improve on, that I need a break and stuff. And I think like the 10-minute challenge might assist me in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be interested if you were to like create like a quick video of like if you could talk for like 10 minutes straight without going or moments of silence about like one topic, and unscripted.
Yeah, that would be, because I feel like it's different every day. You know, like I feel like there's some days where I'm just like, you know, blink, blink, don't have anything to say. You know what I mean? And then there's some days where I can like there's something that's just like turning in my brain, and I have to like figure it out, and I have to put it to words, and I have to, because I feel like for me talking about this stuff just comes from that, because you know, I mean, I didn't really used to talk a lot at all. It was really only like when I started really trying to like track down specifically why I would like feel things or why I would be thinking things, almost like I was looking at myself from the outside. Like I was just kind of like, and I would like sit there and talk to myself, you know, and like try, like almost like I'm having a conversation with myself. To try and figure out like the root cause of what I'm feeling, or why I'm feeling it, or what should I do about it, or why shouldn't I do anything about it. You know, it's just like bouncing and just going over these things. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I don't really talk to myself much. Moreover, because then it turns into crazy talk, and then it goes to like crazy. I was crazy once. They put me in a room, a rubber room, rats. The rats made me crazy.
no.
I'm not sure
I
if you
think
got
you
my
have to
Did you get my reference?
Yeah.
Dr. Nova.
I think that I have. It kind of. Sometimes it can be a good thing. Sometimes it can be a bad thing. I used to kind of not do it very mindfully, so it would just be. I mean, it would just be whatever kind of self-talk I was having. Like if I was being extremely negative towards myself, if I was being like, if I was just sad or upset, then that would be the conversations that I would have with myself. I would be, you know, calling myself like, "Come on, dude, what are you doing? You're stupid." You know, just like all that shit. But I think the dynamic has kind of changed a bit. My dynamic with myself when I'm talking to myself. I find myself more frequently trying to speak to myself in an understanding way, which sounds crazy because it's like, well, I'm me, so how can I not understand it? But it's like in a way where it's like, okay, well, like, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? What's happening? Why are you sad? Why are you upset? Let's figure this out. You know, you know, like I'm trying to help myself. You know. And I think that has kind of helped. I don't really think I actively started doing that. I think it was just a result of just kind of trying to change like negative self-talk in general, like in my head. But you know, it turns out if you do that in your head, it just happens everywhere. And it's, you know, I mean, like with anything, you know, you're not always gonna be successful. There are gonna be moments where you're gonna be frustrated with yourself and upset, and you know, it's like that's just gonna happen. But it's the lingering. It's when you linger. That's when, you know, bad things happen. So you gotta kind of make it a point to try and take a step back and be like, okay, what's going on? You know, like imagine the second you that you're talking to has walked into the room, and they're a friend, okay, and they sit next to you on the bed, and they're like, okay, buddy, what's up, what's happening, what's going on, you know, how can I help, what's up, you know, that kind of self-talk.
Bro, you just reminded me. I think I've said it before of like how my boss, like my old boss for the old job I used to work for, asked me one day how I was doing, and because of how stressed I was, I broke.
Yeah.
All it took was just one person to ask, "Hey, Robin, how you doing?" Oh well. So I started crying on the spot. I'm like, yeah, that's probably part of the reason why I'm terrified of talking to myself or giving myself a pep talk, because then I may or may not spiral. And spiraling is inconvenient and a time consumer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's why
but that's just
yeah,
how me and my brain works.
you can't really avoid spiraling. Like I feel like that's one of those things that, like, you can develop kind of methods and ways to kind of pull yourself out of it, like trains of thought, or I guess it would be like detours of thought, where you're like, okay, well, let's, you know, pull things back a bit. But I don't think that spiraling is, I don't think you can prevent that.
Yeah, but this is mostly back in a time where I literally couldn't afford to spiral.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Even though I still would. I still would
Yeah.
spiral. But I just couldn't afford to because I needed to do something else around that time.
Yeah.
And now I can, but that doesn't mean I want to.
Yeah, no, understandable. Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not fun.
No, it's not a fun thing to do. Yeah.
Bro, I even tried to to let off steam. I even tried like do like some boxing and kickboxing with like a punching bag in my house. Not even that really helped too much. Which I guess that's just part of the fear that I have to overcome. You know, I was just like trying to. I'm comfortable in my own skin, but I think I need to go a little bit beyond comfortable. Because my step of comfort is literally taking one step and I'm like, I'm good. I need like to fully like envelop myself with like, okay, so this is something I do actually need to work on and stuff. You know, it's difficult to explain like what I'm visualizing and how to describe how I'm feeling. Of like how I want to progress with like self-improvement and such.
I think I do understand, like when you said, you know, not not feeling satisfied with like taking one step and being like, this is enough for me, yep, that's all I need, haha. You know, like I've had moments. Yeah, I definitely know, at least as far as that goes, I feel that it. Yeah, I mean that. It's like a big fucking plate of spaghetti. Like there are so many threads to pull on. Like there's a million things. And I think for me, that kind of thinking was expectation based. Expectations for myself and expectations from others that maybe they didn't even really feel, you know, but just that I've implanted in them. Like from my perspective, I'm just like, this is what they expect of me.
Maybe it's more like a knot, you know? of something that
Hmm.
just randomly forms on like a bunch of thread, and you're sitting
Yeah.
there trying to like untangle it, and it can either get better and you untangled it, or it could get worse and becomes even more of a tangled mess.
I think it always becomes, and that's one of the reasons why people advocate for some kind of talk therapy.
Mm,
Is because I feel like when you try to do this stuff, it always becomes a tangled mess at first. Like that's unavoidable. Um,
mm. Yeah, but then it comes to the other issue, the fact that why do I need to like it because because of what I'm trying to do, especially when it comes to streaming, I need to be able to be comfortable with myself as well as talking to myself. And if you kind of already have people for that to talk to, then you're not really progressing much in that, you know,
hmm,
versus like sitting there talking to yourself. Like
yeah.
the skill that I want to learn is want to be able to like fill in the air of just
Right.
constantly talking, of trying to be more entertaining, trying to bring more thoughts out of my brain to the front table. It's kind of like, I guess, like a spout of like, say you have a barrel and you put like a spout on it and it only flows a little bit of water out. I basically need to widen that to allow more water to go through to get my more of my thoughts out there, as well as
Mm,
speak more properly. Because I keep fumbling and tripping over my words as well.
right.
Because I'm not that used to talking. Because again, I'm just naturally quiet. That's how I grew up to be. And that's something I need to break. And that I acknowledge that I need to
Mm,
break.
mm. Yeah. I mean, I think something like that. Yeah. That 10-minute challenge does sound like a good way
Yeah,
to at least practice.
I actually got it from another idea from someone else of a help video that I saw like a while ago. I don't remember who.
Hmm.
But there's also one other person who's also been doing this challenge. His name is, or their name is, uh, Cel Celerity Dust? Celery Dust?
Hmm.
They're a VTuber that's an otherworldly study buddy VTuber. Your study partner from another universe. Your
Wow.
study buddy in interplanar college. And I'm like, damn. Because all his videos as of lately has just been like 10-minute challenges. Although he keeps editing his videos. Because there's like moments of like dead air. You know, of him going like, or just moments of silence and him trying to think of the next thing
Right.
to say. For him to further eloquently speak his words.
Hmm.
But like he always edits those out. Because that's part of his own thing, of his own challenge of like trying to make the videos still like well edited, so there isn't those like areas of like dead air while still trying to pertain to the challenge. And once he actually can talk for a whole 10 minutes, then complete that's when you complete the challenge, of like, you congratulations, you successfully talked about one topic for 10 minutes, now keep doing it. Like he hasn't
Yeah.
gotten to that point yet, and he talks about it a lot, as well as like some other
Hmm.
things that are either on his mind or like, I don't think he talks about stuff going on in the VTubing community, but just stuff on his mind of like what things mean, etc. Like, hold on, let me look up what he has. Like, he literally just posted a new video about the Wii's 18 years old. Let's talk about that. And now I'm going like, damn, the Wii is 18 years old.
I know, right? Fuck.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize that. But that's just his newest video. There's some other videos. There's some of them that did pop up, and some others that, well, aren't as much. And like one of the videos I see that popped off was watch if you're a 25 plus creator.
Hmm.
And then there's other ones that didn't really take off as much like a video called like impressions or the Sisyphus or however you pronounce it ramble. That guy holding the boulder going up the hill.
Oh yeah, Sisyphus.
Yeah. And he's been posting a bunch of videos. He's on that grind, and I respect it. And I kind of want to partake in the challenge as well. Not only because like he's doing it, but it's also because I heard it from another person of like how to get better at filling the dead air within like just in general when you're talking to other people or like, for example, streaming, because that's something I do want to make it happen. That's to sit down and talk 10 minutes on your own as practice.
Yeah, I do want to, cause like streaming, I always have the problem of, I think I get too much in my own head. And I mean, it is difficult to kind of, because the thing that I struggle with streaming is like, am I supposed to like, when there's like no one in there, right? I have to keep talking. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I have to almost pretend like there's people watching. Because then if somebody joins, I'm not just sitting there like completely silent, like, click click.
Yeah, I remember naively thinking that it was easy. No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
I think I even got on well, I didn't get on this one's case. It's more like I tried talking to someone else about this kind of idea and thing too of like how to like do things on stream, just talk more, just talk more. And then it's just like now I'm seeing how difficult it fucking is, especially because I'm a naturally quiet person and so is that person. So it's like even 10 times more harder to like sit down and try to talk. You even convinced me to not talk when no one was there. What? What do you mean? I don't remember that.
I've always, the way that I've rationalized it in my mind is like, well, if somebody walks in, then like, because I'm not gonna see like the moment that they come in unless they like follow as soon as they come in, which probably won't happen, So it's like I have to say something, I have to, and that's where the tricky part comes in. I mean, it's kind of why you have a lot of people. I mean, hell, even seasoned people kind of end up having similar trappings, depending on who they are, where they're just kind of like commenting on what's like in front of them at all times, like just like what's.
It's weird to like figure out, because like it's just so difficult. Like it depends on what you're doing. Like for example, do you know who Manly Badass Zero is?
Yeah.
He doesn't really deliver much commentary in the middle of like him playing games. He just fully like says some like the dialogue and then plays the game kind of a little quietly. And sometimes, very rarely, he says something or like makes a small joke, but he doesn't deliver his commentary until all the way at the end. And like I partly appreciate that because we're like sitting there experiencing the game with him, but at the same time, like stream wise, you can't really like do that well. And I think he does stream his games.
Yeah.
And it's like it's difficult to just. It depends on the audience and who you attract, but you attract people a lot more faster if you were to actually like talk or more importantly, interact with the people. But at the same time, there's like a
Yeah,
time interval, whether like if you try to talk with them, then they, then they're like, oh, they aren't paying attention to me, and they leave, and then all that good stuff. There's one of the times in the past where we're talking. What? It was one of the times in the past when we were talking about that during your desktop VRC times. Okay, but that's a little different when it comes to like streaming, because that's also another thing. I'm really chill and comfortable with silence. And I
mm,
don't mind if other people are silent as well. Like, for example, not to put you on the spot, V, but V, you are a very quiet person, and I don't mind that quietness. Like, not every moment needs to be filled with something happening or some sound. But in terms of
right.
streaming, you kind of do have to, like, constantly talk and create something in the moment to attract people. So, a normal conversation, like not streaming, you just literally hanging out behind the scenes, silence, that's fine. But when you're trying to stream and your whole purpose is to try to be entertaining, then that's become, a little bit of an issue. At least when you try to take it seriously. If you're not, you have no reason to care or give a shit. But
Yeah.
like, I I do kind of care and I do kind of want to put in the work, but at the same time, I'm fumbling and struggling.
It's difficult. I mean, like, because you can see like different people doing it in like different ways. Like, for some people, it's better for them to do this stuff as like a group, you know, like a bunch of different people because like I feel like that's the kind of environment that I would thrive more in, just based on like how I used to play games with like groups of friends and things like that, and we would play like, I don't know, like horror games together,
Hmm.
things like that. um that's the kind of environment that I feel like I would be more comfortable in, because then I don't feel like the pressure to be on, like, oh, it's just me, like I am the one that is, like, then it's like, okay, well, there's a bunch of people here and we're just talking to each other, and that's fine. um but by myself, I don't know, it's like there's a part of me that kind of wants to be able to, like, to have this like natural, because a lot of streamers, a lot of people who just kind of like solo, streamers, that they have this kind of, they have a charisma about them. Even if they're not charismatic as a person, they have like, either maybe it's like they're just so invested in the game that it's they can't help but like talk about things, they can't help but
Hmm.
like comment on different things about the game, and then that kind of creates the content there. um yeah, it's or they're just kind of someone who, they just have so much fun with the game itself that like you as the viewer can't help but have fun with them, just because that's the way that like they engage with games. They like poke and turn them around and upside down and just like all
Hmm.
that shit. um I don't know. I still don't really know. Like, I need to stream more, just so that I can find out. So that I can indeed fuck around and find out. Um, but those are some random thoughts that I've thought about. Most of my content is just me watching other people play role play from my POV. Yeah, like with that, I think it would be, and I did some of that when I streamed VR chat roleplay. I do I don't think I have the VOD because it was like I think I only have one VOD on my channel, and I don't know if I did it then. But you know, just getting the audio mixing and stuff right is a whole ordeal. But anyways, I
Yeah, to
would
be
kind
honest,
of like
go ahead.
I would kind of comment on different things, like in terms of what either what my character was thinking or like what's going on and what the character. Oh yeah, I used to do that in early times.
I still kind of do
Yeah.
that. Kinda. Either I have like
Like
my own moments where I'm just sitting there kicking my little feet, or just like talking about something random, like I'm hungry and I want a sandwich, and then I'd start describing that sandwich.
mm,
I'm like, damn. And I try to talk when no one else is talking. So
yeah.
like if there's no one talking, then I'm just talking to myself, or just like thinking of something stupid, like, oh man, I'm thirsty, I need to go across the room, but I can't, or something small or stupid of what's ever on my mind. But at the same time, there isn't a lot of those quiet moments because everyone's talking and palling
Yeah.
around, which is good, but it's still like,
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. Like the thing about VR chat RP, um, and it's not always 100% true all the time, but a lot of people do stream it. So, you know, if your stream doesn't capture everything, that's okay. Because it is your perspective. Like, you know, um
I just remembered someone came into my chat last time and asked me to be their mama. I was so fucking confused, going like, huh? What? No, but you could chill around, I guess. Like, B was there in chat for that, and I was so like dumbfounded, going like, what do I do about this? Hold on, let me think. Oh, right, okay. I have pulled up their messages. Is I have a question. Can you adopt me, please, Mama? And I'm like, huh? What?
oh no. An orphaned chatter. Their streamer ended stream and now they're lost.
It's normal for VRC and anime streamers. What do you mean? I don't think I'm mom material, man. Like that was just like it came out of left field for me because they first asked, "Can I ask a question?" Or I have a question, and I'm like, "Please don't promote stuff in my channel." And then I wasn't sure if like the words of "Can you adopt me, please?" was even like technically promotion or advertisement, but I was so dumbfounded. I'm like, I don't, huh? But no. Oh my gosh. Absolutely nuts. But and
Yeah.
I was replaying as Peyton too, so it's like even more like, huh? How does how does this give off mom? People are weirdly into virtual adoptions. No, it's like that in real life too, in friend groups. I know, cause I was also adopted, although I didn't ask to be adopted. And then next thing I know, I was disowned by both my parents. And for whatever reason, we had Michael Jackson in the basement or something stupid along those lines. And I'm like, wait, why was I disowned again? And she's like, oh yeah, because you were being disrespectful to me for like that one time. And I'm like, huh? Like, I know we were like talking back to like, back and forth a little bit of like, arguing about something stupid. But like, you're right. That's the reason why I'm disowned now. Great. Friend versus brand new viewer. Like I don't know. Like no one asked me to like adopt them. I've just usually been adopted by other people. Oh. That's why I was even more dumbfounded. I was just like, what? What the fuck? No one asks me this. I don't even know what point where I was going on with this. I found that weird.
Yeah. I mean,
How would
get
you
all
respond if
types.
someone just literally came up and asked you, "Can you adopt me, Dad?"
Uh, I don't even know. I'd probably be like, no.
No. So you'd also say no.
Yeah, I would probably be like, go ask your mother.
Go ask your mom. Oh, you know what I should have said? I should have said no, but I could be your dad. Oh my god, my head. The tracking just went all over the place.
Whoa. There was this when I streamed. I think the one that I had was when Miss 8 was like explaining the whole like nightmare thing. And we were like right outside the cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing the thing where I was kind of explaining like where Mittens his head was at during that conversation. And how like he was trying to figure out if like this was something that, you know, Miss 8 was coerced into.
Mm.
You know? And how she was coerced into it, if so. Because, you know, I mean, like, he's very sensitive about that kind of stuff. So he's just trying to figure it out. But there was a moment where like I like looked over and you're like sitting there in the corner like dancing, and I'm like, this is the zero, like muted. I was just like, this is the zero like brain cell method of communication, you know, because like I was dancing too. I was like, this is how, if you have zero brain cells, like this is how you communicate with each other. You just dance together, and
Dude,
you're
I
basically
love it.
telling each other what's going on.
I love of just like the zero brain cell communication that we sometimes have. I'm just literally sitting there, like, because I have nothing to offer to the conversation. It's usually like X7 seriously talking to like someone else, whether it be
Yeah.
you or like 8 or Pog or something like that. So I have nothing to offer to the conversation. So what do? I start breaking it down, start dancing a little
Yeah,
bit,
no,
and then when you catch
because
me,
like
you join in too. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
because in the moment, like it was the same thing with me. It just reached, the conversation had reached a point where it was like, all right, well, Mittens as a character has no insight into like any of this, so I really, there's nothing I can say. I don't know. And then I look over and you're dancing. I'm like, all right, fuck, it's dance time.
Fuck it, we ball.
We ball.
I used to do that all the time in Purple Lotus too. I didn't stream before, but like even in Purple Lotus, when I finally got my full body, not full body, like just VR in general, I just started moving my hands all over the place and just like little dance moves.
Yeah,
And sometimes people
it's
would see
hard
it, but
not
no
to.
one, yeah, but nobody would really see like the small little deer dancing or really care until like you kind of came along where you like. I don't think you did much of it in Purple Lotus, but like. It's just like, it became more of a later on thing, I guess. But like nobody
Yeah.
really cared, and I
Well,
just kind of carried that on as like human Peyton with full body.
When I started, I I was trying to be a lot more rigid. Like, I mean, I was still Mittens, but I was trying to be a lot more like, no, I can't dance. I can't. I gotta be like, I gotta be a goof, but not in that way. I can't do it. I can't let myself do that. And then like later on, I was just like, nope.
And
nah,
how
fuck
that
it.
has changed.
Yeah.
The fuck it, we've all. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Do I still have it? Wait, no. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
The fuck it, we bought.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
I think like, I mean, I've probably talked about this when we were talking about RP. One of the stellar broadcasts we talked about RP. I don't remember which one. It was like the third one, maybe the second one. I don't think it was the first one. I think the first one was just like comic stuff, or not comic stuff, like story stuff. That, yeah, it was writing. But I kind of just realized it would be better for me to just like do what I want.
Since I always have been taking RP seriously these days, I'm a little lost since my boy and me have been changing a lot since the early mid days. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in lobbies and things like Orlando Soccer and PL and stuff like that, like, I don't know. I really, I want to like respect the character, but at the same time, and both of these things can be true, I want to also respect me as like a person. You know, because ultimately, like, I am doing this for fun. You know, like I'm doing this mostly to hang out with friends. You know, and like be characters together because it's fun. And sometimes, you know, sometimes your character suffers, but that's when it's the most fun. You know, when Mittens is suffering, I'm having the most fun.
I don't know, man. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. Because to me, I'm like, oh, I'm a little sad, or oh, there's no light in my eyes. I'm being a little dramatic. I was like, that's all good and fun, but when it comes into crying territory, I cringe. I had
Yeah,
a text RP
I think
like with X7 at one point. Peyton breaking down, like having a mental breakdown, and then both of us right after the scenes, like, yeah, that was cringe. Yeah.
no, that's really hard to do. Like I don't, you know, you legitimately have to like be trained to do that. You know, like you can't just pull that out of pocket. I mean,
This is why it's better to text RP that shit instead of actually being in RP
yeah.
and crying, because I'll be like sitting there like, if I were to stream, I'd be muting, going like, I can't take this shit. This is so cringe. Please, someone make her happy, or like make me leave. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be laughing
because
behind the screen too.
any kind of like violent emotional response like that like any kind of very like pushing over the edge. The way, basically, it's like cringe unless you really fucking sell it. Like if you go all in, but not in a way that it's like, you know, it's difficult. You have to be trained. You have to be trained and learn how to do this kind of stuff. It's fucked. But yeah, to like cry or to be like angry and like screaming and like it takes work. Because I couldn't do that. And that's why Mittens is like very low tempo, like very kind of, you know, quiet. Because I am a quiet person and I know that I can't really like, you know, have like a screaming, crying fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't act that out. It would just end up being cringe.
Yeah.
So I have to play him as the like suffer in silence kind of guy because I can't do that.
For Peyton, she's just very docile.
Mm.
So like, if something happens to her, she's just kind of like, it's like flipping over a potato. It doesn't really do much. But when she kind of reaches her breaking point after so much shit, that's when you know things have gone a little too, like, oh no. Because so much has happened to that girl. So much. So much for her feeble little human mind.
Yeah.
That she couldn't take anymore, which is why she had to like break down in front of X7. Although it wasn't really just out of nowhere. She actually tried to cover it up and come back with her eyes already puffy from crying, going like, "Hey." And then X7 asked what's wrong, and then the tear works came out because he like
Not the blood.
just asked her like, "How you doing? Like what's going on? Please talk to me," kind of thing. And she did, because it became kind of like a sweet moment, but at the same time there were like bricks and chunks of like text for me, and I also felt bad in that.
There is a part of me that wishes I could emote like that, like in character, you know, like really have something sound like very like just very strained and emotional in a way that feels real. But yeah, that takes
like that's still like a double-edged sword, because like people out of character, they might not like take that as like in character, you know, if it's too real. They're like, oh, okay, hold on, cards down, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, but like, is it bad that I kind of like that? Like, I like the idea of being able to do that.
I don't. I don't. I don't like to worry people. Of like.
I don't like to worry people, but just to be able to convey a character in that level of authenticity.
I can't even do real emotions myself normally. Sometimes my RP emotions are just copied acts from animes and stuff.
Yeah. If I tried to do that, that's what it would be. Like, I would just be like, oh, that one anime or that one like TV show scene that like felt real. I guess I'll try and do that. But yeah, there is a part of me that like wants to be a thespian, you know, that wants to be like a performer, but also I am not. So
oh my god, you just gave me idea. So you know how you went out and actually got up on stage and performed poetry? A part of me has been thinking for like the longest time of going to like in my local area, going to like a theater troupe kind of thing and like audition for stuff, of like attempting to act and all that.
Mm.
And I just want to see how well I do.
Yeah.
Or like if I get any parts or anything like that, or take pointers of like what I should do and stuff like that. Like I'm just
I think
partly
it would
curious.
be. I think it would be fun. You know, because I mean, you'd come away with like, you wouldn't come away like an Oscar winner, right? But you'd come away
No.
with like some insider knowledge that kind of makes you a little bit more adept at doing it. And I like collecting bits of knowledge and just taking them with me. You know, we talked about the crazy bastard shit. You know,
Yeah.
like I would like to do that.
I just have one issue, and
Hmm.
that's my face. Not in terms of
Hmm.
I look ugly. It's like no, I can't really change my face that much. I kind of have like
Hmm.
resting bitch face, and to the point that it gives people a little bit of the wrong impression of me. Like obviously my face can still change of like emotions and stuff like that, but I'm not super duper expressive. Like when I'm happy or like a little bit happy, people don't know and think I'm just having like a terrible day or something, and I'm like I'm just vibing, man. Like I don't know what you want from me. So like I feel
Yeah.
like that might actually give me a leg down in like acting actually. I'm not that
Yeah.
expressive either. Yeah. And, like even right now, I feel like my face is just kind of like a little bit of poker face, even though like I'm happy because I'm talking with my friend. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that is tricky. The like face aspect. I mean, I'm sure, you know, there's like stretches that you do as an actor, or like things that you can do to like loosen your face up a little bit, and, you know.
Funnily enough, I've also been looking into like, because you know, with VTubing, you could also have like more expressive face, you know? And
Yeah.
right now I'm using a program that you're also using because I told you about it, VMagic
Mhm.
Mirror, that even V uses, but it's not as expressive as I want it to be. And especially with like the
Yeah.
head tilts and stuff like that, or like how my mouth moves, because like my mouth moves just like your mouth moves and everyone's mouth moves by mic, of like it picks up the sound and kind of like assumes how your mouth is moving, which makes it seem like your mouth is a lot more expressive than it actually is. Versus a program I actually found out recently by the name of Vinian, I believe.
Huh.
And there's a lot more customization to it in terms of like moving your body and such, even to like hand tracking. With hand tracking for VMirror, you have to pay for it. And as well as like facial expressions of like moving your eyes around and, you know, mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I have the issue of like trying to smile. Because I can't constantly sit there and keep smiling. I cannot do any of those face tracking for my Oceans programs. Yeah, it's tricky. Because I sat down and tried playing around with it, and it wasn't a frown, but it was just kind of like a poker face a little bit, and I'm like, oh no. And I couldn't test with this model, obviously, because you can't see my eyes for good reason. But so I tested it out with a Peyton model, and I still ran into the same issue. And I'm like, oh no, my face.
Yeah.
Having a beard, having. Okay, that says bread, but I know you mean beard. Unless I'm reading wrong. Am I reading wrong?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Having a bread also doesn't help.
Yeah. That
Beard.
damn bread. It's so delicious you can hardly emote.
I don't know. I don't have a beard, so I can't relate.
I have a beard, but I do trim it down.
Hmm. My brother
I
has
keep
a
it pretty
beard and he
short.
uses that as a weapon sometimes. Just grabbing my arm and dragging his face across it as like it's prickly, and I'm like, just like screaming, no, no. I would go higher pitch, but I don't think the mic can pick that up because of the compression. But
Oh.
oh my gosh, he still trims and shaves, but it's when it gets to the prickly stage I need to watch out.
Yeah. Yeah, those things can be lethal.
Oh gosh. But yeah. Face tracking is interesting and weird.
Yeah, I've never tried it. I don't have an iPhone.
Oh my god!
so-
Hi, Adrian.
Yo! It's Adrian! What's up,
It's
dude?
Adrian. How's it going? Hi. Oh, I just got home.
Yeah! Working man.
Hell yeah.
Welcome home, Adrian.
Welcome
Take a
home.
load off. Kick your feet up. I hope everything's going good
Mm.
for you, Adrian. I hope your day was a good one. Had a nice shift. Now it's just relaxing.
Thanks, guys. I will be at Lying Fork.
Yeah,
Have
no.
fun at the Lying
Hey.
Fork.
Yeah, have a good time, Adrian. Keep it chill, keep it real. You know,
May the flux be gracious with you.
yeah.
Man, I haven't gone to the Lying Fork in a while. Have you been to the Lying Fork?
I've never been. I don't even know what it is.
Okay, so it's another RP lobby. Oh, and thanks, guys. No.
Aw.
But yeah, it's another RP lobby. I think by Flint and Lock. I think that's what their name is. I don't know too much about it. V's are like really big fan of like going there. Or at least he used to. And he dragged me there a couple times, and it's a chill place. It's just a giant building, a small bar inside with like drinks. The usual. They actually have like actual colors that they can pour into the drinks and such.
Mm.
There's like a perimeter outside the building where you can just kind of run all around. They have like a little water area and then like a little gazebo like across with bridges and stuff. A little campfire site. I think they also have like a garden and barn, as well as like some outhouses for people to go, out of character in.
Mm. Okay.
It's pretty chill. They also have like an upstairs. The Lying Fork also doubles as an inn, so like people can also choose to stay there, etc. It's just like a chill place to go in and sit down, talk with other people. Other people coming random, but they only open on Tuesdays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they only
Shit,
open
maybe
on
I should-
Tuesdays.
Maybe I should go there. Cause I'm just gonna have Wednesdays off for a while.
Well, maybe. Yeah, it's 9 a.m. to, or 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. EST, so that would be, I believe, 10 for you. Lying Fork is great. I have so many good memories of that place from the time I RP'd alone. Yeah.
Yeah, I might check that out then.
That means we have to cancel Stellar Broadcasts 1 week.
Fuck, I wasn't even. Shit! You're right. Fuck. No, Stellar broadcast on location.
I mean, technically, we could make it work if I just went as Robin instead of Peyton.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mittens doesn't even look like this in character anymore, so I mean.
Yeah, we just go with the off-brand versions of ourselves. Yes.
Then we can ask the people. We can interview the people.
Oh no.
Man on the street style.
Oh my god. But what would be our interview questions?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. sounds like a lot. sounds like it would take a lot more setup than
Yeah, no. I mean, like,
like there's a part of me that thinks it would be kind of cool, but also I don't know. I don't know what we would even do.
I don't know, because it really is just kind of a place to chill and talk. It's just like another
Yeah.
place to do that. It's not as expensive as like Orlando Sakura, where you could run around from like the city to the neighborhoods.
Wow.
Yes.
It's your favorite RP place. Holy shit.
Yeah. The old location, because they switched locations into like a custom map. The old location, I kind of liked a lot, a little bit more, if anything. Like I appreciate the new building and all that. But the old building kind of had its own little charm. The only issue that it was a hell of a lot smaller and couldn't fit as many people. I hate the new soundproof walls. Yeah. V playing as Puck used to always use that to his advantage to like eavesdrop on people.
Oh yeah.
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 And like hear what other people are doing, what's going on with them, etc. But now that they switched a location with a lot more wider, bigger space, and also soundproof walls, like he said, I don't know. To me, it just kind of is missing a little bit of the old charm. But at the same time, I feel like it was a much needed upgrade as well. So
Yeah.
they can actually fit more people in there. Because, oh my god, it would be like so flux heavy. Because there were so many people concentrated in like one small map. It was nuts. But it was still fun. Like, I remember
Yeah.
I played as Fur. And she got given candy by someone, and then literally within the next 5 seconds she got it stolen by a different person, and then she had to chase that person down. It was great.
I do miss the fucking I miss the card tricks. I miss Mitten's terrible card trick.
Add that into the new model.
I know. It takes a lot of like setup to do, and I basically have to relearn how I did that the first time.
I feel
'Cause
that.
Yeah,
'Cause
I have to
I still
like
need to
build it all
add-
out again.
I still need to add like sunglasses to Peyton. You know, of like, oh, we're
Yeah.
wearing uniform. Everyone has to have sunglasses.
Mandatory sunglasses.
Mandatory. I could do it. I just am lazy. And by the way, Kate's supposed to have new nail polish, and the contract mark on her neck is also supposed to like go away too, or like be faded a bit because it's like scarred in now. But I'm just lazy
Right.
and I haven't fixed them up.
It's tough. It's tough to, you know. I
It's 'cause,
don't know.
have
I feel like in some regards it's not as tough as I'm making it out to be. It's just getting in there and doing it is kind of like there's always something else that like I need to do more. Basically.
For me, it's like I have to set up Vroid, and then I also have to set up like Blender, and then go into Unity, which also combines with the Creator Companion,
Yeah.
and try to do everything from there, from those three things. And then I kind of sit there, forget about it for like a little bit, and then I have to go do something else, and I have to close out all those programs because I have to stream or something like that. And I was like, I
Yeah.
don't feel like doing it.
Yeah. It is a lot. Cause yeah, the card trick thing, it's not difficult, but it's just like kind of tedious. Like I basically have to set up like a random number generator and then just like assign each. So it just uses it through shape keys. Like each card, like all the cards are in, like they're a part of the main model. To like cut down on material costs. The cards use the same texture as the glasses or as the shades. So it would just like play a different shape key depending on which card you drew. For like reveal card, put away card, reveal card, put away card, reveal all cards, spread the cards, put away the cards. And it's like all those states and then just hook them up and then it's all good. Like logically it's simple, but it's just tedious. Just a little bit of tedium. But it's so fun. It's so fun to have as like a thing that I can just like put when I'm feeling especially antisocial. I could just like, hey, you want to see a magic trick? Haha.
Yeah. For me, I just went up to people and said, "You look pretty. Let's talk." I had compliments on my side. Alright, let me catch up on these messages. I used to always be there at opening minute, usually the first customer, always getting green tea. Even if the LF staff has changed, I still like the place. I'm glad that Zex has found an in-character job in there. I remember him first in the Lotus being a redhead desktop user. Yeah. Isn't he the one with licorice hair? I think that's the guy with licorice hair. I don't know who else it would be. If anything, it's just weird to seeing like how many people have stayed around for this long. I'm like, holy crap! Like the years go on by and people are still out there, still making stuff happen, stories going.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, like.
Yeah, some are gone and some stayed. Yeah. Which I almost thought that happened with this guy right here, but you know, he came back. So.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I think that it legitimately it was that like shifting of perspective. Where it's like, okay, well, I kind of just want to like I want to do this thing, you know? So any kind of expectations or whatever that keep me from doing that, I'm just not gonna entertain that. I'm just gonna do it. Because I think a lot of the reason why there was a lot of different reasons why I fell off of it the first time. Partly because I had started a new job that basically just made it like impossible for me to go to the Lotus. Like I was working an overnight job, so it was just like, okay, well, like I can't go to Lotus anymore. And the other part was that I think that I remember I was wanting to do something with like making a new model or like a different I don't specifically remember. I don't remember the details of what Mittens was doing as a character or what I was trying to do. But because I had less time, I was like, oh no, like I can't really, I wasn't keeping up with it in the way that I felt like I should be. And then that kind of added a little bit of like shame a little bit. Which, I mean, that can kind of push you further from something. Yeah, it was just a mixture of different emotions, and then like the death knell, like the final nail in the coffin was when I had to like take my VR stuff down, because then like my energy to put it back up was just like gone, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just not doing VR anymore. But yeah, I came back because I was like thinking about it, and I was like, oh man, like I miss doing that, and it was fun, and I liked doing that, and but I do think that part of it was sometimes like, I mean, I don't know. I've talked to you about this before. Like, social anxiety kind of gets me a lot. Basically hyper analyzing every little thing about like social interactions in the sense where it's like, oh no, everybody hates me. Oh no, I've said one little thing and now it's like it's done. Everything is exploded and I'm gone, and I should stay gone. It's not, when in reality it's like, okay, it's like nobody's paying that much attention. Like you're the only one that is paying that much attention. So just like go have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, it's like you are legitimately, you're the only one that feels that like critical about it. So it's just kind of like this thing where you got to kind of be like, look, nobody's thinking about it. Like nobody's keeping score like you are. Nobody's tallying up the points like you are. So you gotta just do it.
Yeah, you are your own biggest critic. That's part of the reason why I like don't really, it's not that I don't care, but I'm just like, I feel a little bit more free because everyone's just kind of looking at their own selves, that they aren't really paying attention too much to what you're doing. So that kind of is a little bit freeing to me and warrants me to do whatever I kind of want, or whatever I need to do, and not really have to worry about what other people think of me because they're thinking of themselves. So it's like a weird loop around. Funnily enough, like a little loophole if you like think about it in that way. The fact that you're your biggest critic, but how many other people are thinking about this? Probably a lot. So just do what you need to do if they're not even looking at you.
Yeah.
Just say I'm surprised hearing from another that they like my character. I like your character.
Yeah, no, your character's good.
Exactly. Like
the thing is, like this is so. I don't know your character deeply.
I do,
but I can tell immediately. The thing about your character is that they're really fun to play off of.
Oh,
and I think that's those kinds of characters are necessary. Like you, and they make things better. They elevate the experience. Like they're less like overt. They're less like in your face, than somebody who's very like MC coded you know? Like, but they're necessary. They give grounding to like the experience as a whole. And I think ultimately, as somebody that is like playing a character like yours, V, is gonna stick out as like, okay, like I really like this character is like a rock, you know, this character is kind of like, I like this character. They're kind of holding things together, you know. Like, it's, I do really like characters like that, that are just like anything to play off of, because of that reason.
Yeah, it's
You
still
know,
they're like both of them, both of his characters. They're good characters to like RP with and roleplay with.
Mm.
But like, because I know them a lot, both of them extensively, that I have like some things to like pick at with it, with at least with how long it's been, and it's kind of like the feeling of like, you know, growing up with like your sibling, and obviously you know their flaws because you've spent so much time with them like all your life. It's kind of like that similar issue with me. The fact I've spent so much time with these characters that my characters are like trying to poke at them and like point at like, hey, why not do this or do that? Because they're so much of a rock, you know. But like in RP with other people, and like it's great. It's still great no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just like in a deeper sense, it's like, oh gosh.
Well, it's just, you know, you have the
Insider
ability, because like when you have a character that, you know, you're very kind of like deliberate. You're very deliberate about how they're progressing. You know, like you're not just kind of going with the flow. There's rigidity to the character's progression, like as like a person. Then you kind of give a character for people to play off of, because then there's some kind of stability there. Like, even if your character is changing, it's a lot more of a gradual process. It's not something that's very like sporadic and like, again, you know, like characters that are like MC coded characters have like epiphanies and do, you know, just like all this shit. But like when you're just like a rock to play off of, to like fucking have like kind of this more deeper, slower but like deeper kind of progression, it elevates the experience. Like the MC characters are fun, but you know, I think that if everybody was a main character, it would just be shit.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like it's nobody would like. And I mean, like I think that is probably one of the reasons why. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like that's one of the criticisms that people would have for something like Metaverse, is that you have just so many different characters and so many different people that want to be the MC, that it doesn't really have. There's not a lot of room for storytelling, which ultimately like is the double-edged sword of something like Metaverse lobbies and stuff like that, because like the reason that is because it is so free, you know. So double-edged sword there. You take the good with the bad. If I'm being a support character background on it, yeah. I think it's
I love being
good.
like the support and background character too, and I see that you're also having your little bit of fun with that too. I'm just kind of like being there supporting people, like having like good moments. But every once in a while, one of our characters gets pushed into the spotlight, and we're like, I see that happen with you, and a little bit of me, and a little bit with B too. Was like, shit, what should I do?
I've liked being there's only okay, so like Casey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really like Mitten's relationship with Casey. Just because, like, and it's pure happenstance. Somehow I always, like, run into Casey, like, after something monumental and awful happens to him. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It just happens that way. It just happens that way. And every
went to
time, like,
California.
Mittens has just some, like, sage advice for him. Like, every fucking time. He's just like, hey, you know, like, while your body's healing up, make sure you heal your mind, too. You know? Just like...
Oh my gosh, yeah. Dude, I can't stop thinking about that. What he means by he went to California. Like, what happened in California?
Dude,
How
I don't
did he
know.
end up
I
in
have
a
no fucking clue.
wheelchair? Sitting here so confused. Like, what does that mean? How does ending up in a wheelchair and the answer I went to California correlate in any situation? Like, what happened? I still
Oh,
think about that
man.
from time to time.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't even know, and I prefer it that way. I legitimately, it's Casey is great. Casey's awesome. I like being on the outside looking in at like Casey's like wacky, like crazy adventure life. I've liked. I haven't had that many interactions with the. Oh God, what was his name? Shit. The one that like interviewed or like asked us all those questions and was like taking notes is the fucking Lobotomy Corporation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lobotomy
Bon Bon.
Corp guy. Yeah, Bon Bon. Yeah. That guy is fun to play off. That guy's I don't know. I enjoyed interacting with his character. I
enjoyed
don't
having
know
them around.
Yeah. I also enjoyed the like Undertale like fast food guy.
Oh my gosh, this played by
Were
the
you
same
there?
person.
Wait.
It was great.
Yeah.
You offered him a job.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was played by the same person.
It was great. Oh my gosh, he was so unhinged. I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
I wish I could give more to like play off of that guy, but he's going like so fast and so unhinged that I could barely keep up with my barely sane character that's trying so desperately not to go off the hinges.
It was. I hope that guy shows up more. That
Mm-hmm.
he's fun. He's fun. His characters are crazy.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's like different RP archetypes that are all necessary. You know, you've got like the crazy people, but I think you need some crazy people. You know, you need some curveballs to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the reasons why I liked 8. Because they were kind of a curveball. You know, sometimes a little too much. sometimes a little too much. But like I think I miss Miss 8 proper.
Oh
my old boss.
Yeah,
I miss her.
I missed her in that era too. Miss 8 rich woman era.
Yeah.
Like,
that
when she
is that
started
is
delving into the magic stuff, it was like it was certainly a transition that I was vibing with for a little bit, but then she just, like, went off the deep end with the whole nightmare stuff, and I'm like, "This is a
eh,
new direction, and I'm okay with it." But maybe I'm just holding on to nostalgia too much because that was the point where, like, our characters just kinda went separate paths, you know?
yeah.
Like, she went on her path, and then we went on ours, as in, we just
We've got
stopped.
memories. We've got that picture of like Miss Eight surrounded by the like glasses of wine.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that
Or
was
like
quintessential.
the meme I made
Yeah.
of like I think Fuck was like turning into like it was the first time Fur went into the metaverse and Fuck was like half turning into stone, and Miss Eight looked drastically different, like drastically different, and she was trying to get a hug from Puck, and then it kind of turned into that cat meme of like the two women yelling at that cat. Of just like Fur and Eight just trying to like fucking Puck being the cat. It's like the pictures that we took and I edited over the template look so they look amazing. Oh my gosh. It was a wild time before. Sometimes it's an
Yeah.
understatement.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. That's the thing with Miss 8 Prime, you know? I feel like Miss 8 Prime had just, you know, there was still some uh, like she had a little bit of like tether, you know? Like there was a little bit of a restriction that had to be placed. But now that 8 is like in another being, it's just completely unhinged. It's off the rails.
I grabbed the picture of what I edited together. Man, it was just a different time back then. It was nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I still want to do. I mean, I guess when I actually get around to like finishing the you know, Mittens like human model, you know, when I get around to finishing that, that'll be technically the same character but also like different.
I'm just waiting for that
But
moment, man. I'm just waiting. And the amount of
yeah.
memes that are gonna come out of that too.
I showed X7 a little bit. So X7 knows, but I want it to be I still want it to be a surprise. I had to show someone, all right? I've been working on these things.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that'll be fun to get out of this tiny ass cat body.
I got a message. Huh? Oh. I actually managed to find the pictures.
I also like I wish I could play like a chaos character, but I just don't have the energy for that. Like I could be chaotic for like 5 minutes and then after that I just like I have to take a nap, you know? Like I can't out of character, I can't keep it up. I can't keep the energy up to play like a chaos character. Yeah.
I think I sent you both pictures of like the reference picture. You see how the first image kind of looks like the image I made?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up on stream. I have to save these photos. Oh, I mean, I could also. Hold on, I'm cooking.
Let it cook.
That's not what I want to do. I almost deleted.
Almost deleted me from existence. Just poof.
Not you.
I don't feel so good, Robin. The big orange. You know, it was bad, but like, it was iconic.
I. If that's what you
That's-
want to call it.
That's the best thing I can say about it. And it was. It
Oh, you were
was.
calling it pink. The pink. I like the pink outfits.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the pink outfit was iconic. You know, I wouldn't wear it. But you know what? Worked for her. Hurt my eyes. She was very bright. It's true.
Alright, I think I pulled it up. Alright. It should be there on the screen now. So that's the meme picture I made. This is for people on stream. And it's a reference off of this picture. This glorious picture. And then this picture. What had happened was, I think 8 was trying to chase Pac around for like a hug or something like that. Or like a picture. Just like a picture. Just like remember this moment of like his face being fucked up like that. But for whose first time being in the metaverse, just kind of stepped up on the plane and says, I'll do the sacrifice for you, Dad. It'll be fine. Thus beginning this picture, which helped in this picture. And it was great. But yeah.
Good shit. Good shit.
Yeah. Delete that.
But that's the kind of shit that I like. I mean, like, me personally, I've always, like, in terms of fiction, I've always been interested, I've always enjoyed more character-driven stories. And then that's just all of RP is character driven. So it like it makes sense that I would kind of gravitate towards stuff like this. Cause yeah, I mean that's the point of it, you know, just the interactions between different characters and shit like that. And how like you can be different things to different people and still be the same character.
Yeah.
You know, like I love that aspect. That you're kind of showing different parts of your character to different people, and it's like, wow, like, you know, this like other people aren't really gonna get this. I think that part's interesting.
Oh god, V sent me more of the memes that I made back then. My desperate attempts to socialize. No, I'm not sharing that on stream. I'm sorry. Those were nice to see. I may share with Mittens after stream, but I'm not showing that on stream. They're too cringe for my liking. Sorry, Mittens.
Cring. It's okay.
Cring. I think we should start wrapping up
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it is
I'm
starting to get late, and we're almost to the 3-hour mark.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a successful stellar broadcast. Another one in the books.
Yep. For the 11th time.
Wow. Wait.
How many?
Hold on.
How much? How long have we been doing this? Good old times.
We've always been, it's like The Shining. We've always been here.
Wait, what are you looking up? The fuck
I was
movie is
seeing I was clarifying when my birthday was. Cuz I was like, wait, is my birthday? No, it's not on Tuesday.
Okay. That would be really funny. I'm like, the Mittens birthday special.
Oh no. No, 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 no.
I'll get the whole place lit up. I was like, this entire place you see around here, it's gonna be filled with like candles and shit, you know? Like, I'll have it all ready. Promise, promise. Oh no, since we're not having a stellar broadcast on your birthday, I guess
Yeah.
not.
Well,
Let's see, how many times have we been doing this? Oh,
yeah.
so that's one,
Let's see, 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, other than 11 weeks, but I think about kind of 2-ish months. I
Yeah.
think we started in March.
Yeah, the Hayflower document. That's when whenever that document was made, that's when we started.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's been 2 months.
That is crazy. It kind of flew by. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's about to mark month 3.
No.
Next stellar broadcast, I believe.
3 months strong.
Hell yeah. Although, if you want to go to if you want to go to Lying Fork next week, I guess we won't hit that 3 months and break our streak, huh?
I don't know. I can always go another time.
It ain't that serious. It ain't that deep. We can always come back to the broadcast. Like, Stellar Broadcast is always going to be here. It's not going anywhere. Same things with, Lying Fork. Like, they're not going anywhere.
Alright.
So, I'm up for it if you are. Do broadcast in VRC and combo it to 4.
Do broadcast in VRC and then so like start out in VRC and do stellar broadcast
I
live.
do technically have this model in VR chat. So
and then after the stellar broadcast you go into RP. Okay.
Yeah. Well, then I'm gonna have to talk with you about stuff, V, because some stuff just happened to Robin, the character, in character, recently. And who knows, maybe Paco will even be dragged to the like special guest. We should do that for one of these Stellar broadcasts. It's just like, what's that sad face for? What, you don't want to go to your favorite place? But maybe we should just start bringing more of our friends to like sit down and chill out and talk.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. If anything, that was
out.
the initial intention of Stellar Broadcast of like me bringing out my friends to talk with me. But now it's just become a you and me thing. And I feel like we need to bring other people too.
Yeah, we should do that. You know, get some new blood in here.
Maybe we'll drag V in here. Or who knows, maybe the wild card and toss in like X7. Or even 8. Yeah, we know. Normally, yeah, but I have lady visits on same times. Well, I mean, it could be a Stellar broadcast special on a different day.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be tied to Tuesday. And you are intensely staring at the sky.
What do you think's up there?
Good pal.
I am tired. That's how you know I'm tired, when I start making like noises. I go boo, yeah.
Well, I guess it's time for me to raid Adrian then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adrian.
because we have hit the 3-hour mark already.
Hell yeah.
Also, Robin doesn't need to be at Fork.
Yeah.
What do you mean Robin doesn't need to be at Fork? What, you think Peyton's gonna go? I think Peyton's like wrapped up in other things. Technically, Peyton could go too, but then it wouldn't be a Stellar broadcast now, would it, if Robin wasn't there? I don't know.
Stellar broadcast in character. Live and in character.
Live and in character. I don't know. I'll have to discuss that more off screen, I guess. But yeah, let me go raid Adrian. Okay, I was confused for a second. I thought I was misspelling his name. Anyway. I'm starting the raid. And then afterwards, I'm just gonna abruptly end it.
Yeah.
Alright. It's ready for raid now. I'll see you guys not tomorrow, because I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. But Thursday, probably. See you
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hang out with Adrian.
With Adrian.
He's a cool guy.
Hell yeah. And that's it. Man. Like I don't know how else to go about this, man.
You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.